So, welcome back, guys. We're talking about negotiation today. And the thing that I wanted to talk about is this strategy called the Ackerman Method. And this is featured in a book by Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. So the book was published in 2016. It's been a huge bestseller. If you haven't read it, you need to read it because there's great material in this thing, and the contents really do work. I've been using them for a long time, and it's not to manipulate people. It's more to rapport, which we'll talk about here in a minute, is like a master skill that helps you to get anything done because it creates this space where you can kind of make mistakes and you can try some things, and it's this rapport that allows you to say, hey man, I saw that, I was going through the books and you had $100,000 that wasn't reconciled or whatever. There's some kind of issue with the business. What's up with that? And confronting somebody whenever you have rapport is a lot different than whenever you come in with some of these Wall Street guys or I've been reading all these different books on negotiation because, always trying to level up my game. And some of these books are they make it seem like you had to be so aggressive and sometimes hard nosed. And in some situations, I'm sure that works. But in my experience, it's been you get to know somebody really well. You understand how they view the world, and they start to open up so that you can just say, hey, what about this? What about this? You can have a real conversation, and everybody there knows that you have a good intent, or at least the intent to be for everybody to be treated fairly and not to get taken advantage of. And it's whenever you get to that place, negotiating a deal is really, really easy. We have a lot of trouble because we have all this head trash and we've seen all these movies about how you're supposed to negotiate, and I think it gets in our way. And so I want to address one of those things that I read that I thought was wrong in Never Split the Difference. And I've actually tried this on a couple of deals and it didn't work. So I want to share this with you. There's a part in Never Split the Difference. It's the one part that I think I disagree with, and it's called the Ackerman Method. And in it, basically Chris Voss explains, the Ackerman Method's developed by the FBI or CIA or somebody in Stanford researchers and all these really smart people. And the studies show that if you know that you want to pay $100 for something, you start off with with your first opening offer of $65. And whenever they say, no, I can't do it, I can't, sorry. Then you raise it to $85. So it's you're going from 65 to 85. That's $20 increase, right? This is important. And they say, no, can't do that. And then you go from 85 to 95. So the increment went from 20 to 10. And guess where you're going next? You're going from 95 to 100. So 20, 10, 5. It's just decreasing every time. And the way that it's explained in the book is that, hey, it basically demonstrates that you are running out of room to negotiate and that you're arriving on your final price. You can't go any farther. And so I want you to imagine this in a negotiation. You got a business that is priced at 5 times cash flow. So it's not unreasonably priced. Maybe you want to buy it for 4 times cash flow. Okay, so let's say that it was, for round numbers, it's $1 million a year in cash flow, and so it's listed at $5 million. You want to buy it at 4. Okay, to get 4, you got to do 65% of that. So I'm not going to do the math, but that's about $3 million-ish. Okay, so you got a business. It's got $1 million in cash flow. It's listed at $5 million, so 5 times cash flow. You want to buy it at $4 million, so 4 times cash flow. And so according to the Ackerman Method, you want to come in at 65% of that. So that's $2.6 million. So, okay, that's half of the asking price. What do you think the response is going to be from a broker or a seller whenever you offer them half? It's going to be screw you, man. Forget about that. Unless you're in some kind of really special negotiated deal that there's no other competition and they got to sell today. That's like the only scenario where I can think of that this would work. And so you're going from like 2.6 million up to like 3.5-ish to, getting to 4. Like, you see the starting point's like way too low. So what do you do? Like, how do you start? Do you go in and lowball somebody? This is a big question that I always like struggle with, is like, how do you start? And I think the answer is, based off my experience, there's no cookie cutter way. It's know your seller. It's know your seller. And so what do I mean? I have a person who I'm working with right now. They found a deal. The seller is ready to sell. They're serious. And whenever he came in, the guy that I'm working with, he came in and said, I think I could do this at 4 times cash flow. And so he walked them through the math on how to calculate cash flow for that business. And whenever he went through the math, everybody agreed, okay, the cash flow number makes sense. The multiple's fine. Let's do it. And it was because whenever he got to know these sellers, he had kind of come in with a lot of people who had trust in that situation. And everybody had known each other for so long that they all just trusted that nobody was trying to take advantage of the other person. So it was they had some kind of instant rapport and trust. And this was the thing that allowed it to go so easily. And it's whenever you don't have that trust, where people don't know each other well enough to know, are you screwing me over? Are you trying to screw me over? Are you trying to take my money? Take advantage of me? Make me look stupid? It's whenever that happens that these weird negotiations and emotions, it gets all over the place. And so the most important thing in my mind in a negotiation is to know your seller and get to be so close to them, so comfortable with them so comfortable with you, that they realize, yeah, this person, I haven't known them very long, but they are trying to be fair and not trying to take advantage of me. And so that's a very difficult thing to do, but I tell you, the stuff that Chris Voss teaches on mirroring, repeating back, the way that somebody says something and just the use of your voice, like, he's got a lot of great stuff in there. But this one pricing strategy is not the way to build that trust, because there's a tighter market for businesses than most of the stuff that people are going to be using to use this Ackerman method. So build rapport. If you can build rapport, it gives you this space, like I said, to have a better negotiation, and then you can talk about the real stuff whenever it really does come up, and narrow this region of darkness that kind of separates you and the seller from knowing what's the real price, what's the real value of this thing. So that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you got a cool idea or something that you've used on a negotiation that's worked, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And like, subscribe, share, and we'll talk to you soon.